Yo, 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 what up, everybody? YouTube Live. Oh my god, it's Friday night and I'm so exhausted. I've been running around all day, man. Mm. I've been away and running around all day. So, before I head out for the evening, want to give you this update. It's getting really heated between Scarlett Johansson and Disney. As I mentioned to you the other day, Scarlett Johansson is suing Disney because she said that her agreement with Marvel Studios, which is owned by Disney, was not honored by Disney. That she was supposed to get bonus when the movie Black Widow hits a certain box office, number. But because Disney released the movie on both Disney Plus and in theaters, it only made so much. Like the article that I showed you even said that it's gonna be the lowest grossing Marvel movie because people have the option to just sit at home and watch Black Widow on their laptop, and so she's pissed. She's pissed like the money that I'm owed, the money that I'm promised. Like, come on now, this is a breach of contract. I have this agreement with Marvel Studios, which is owned by Disney, and you guys are not paying me. And I mentioned to you in the previous video that it's a matter of principle. You could say, hey, Scarlett Johansson is already filthy rich. Scarlett Johansson has no any impact on my life and your life, and that's true. Why should we give a damn? Why should we give a damn? But it's a matter of principle. If somebody owes you money, wouldn't you be pissed? Wouldn't you demand the money? I would, unless you are a very forgiving person. But anyway, the update is this. Walt Disney strikes back. Haha, the Empire strikes back. So, and they struck back really strong, man. Holy crap! Their attorneys are really they have strong response to Scarlett Johansson's lawsuit. The Walt Disney Company, I'm reading off of Variety. The Walt Disney Company clapped back at Black Widow star Scarlett Johansson, slamming the actress' breach of contract lawsuit for showing, quote, callous disregard for the horrific and prolonged global effects of the COVID-19 pandemic, quote, end quote. Um, let's pause there. I mentioned to you in the previous video that yes, we are living in a fluid time right now where everybody's trying to figure out how to adapt to this COVID, right? And it's ever changing, this always ongoing of evolving, always evolving situation that we're in right now. There's no certainty at this point. So everybody's just trying to adapt. Like, how many capacity do we need to have, or are we allowed to have in our theaters, or like, how do we make money off of our movies that we invest so much money in, like, in terms of Disney, of course, and then of other people as well with their small businesses and whatnot. Um, so that excuse right there does have some merit, but my counter argument to that argument is that do you remember last year Disneyland fired or let go? I think about, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I forgot the exact number. I want to say about 18,000 or 28,000 employees from their theme parks. You know, they let go their employees. I get that COVID pandemic and all, but Disney is one of the most profitable companies in the world. Why do you have to fire or let go your employees, man? Really? Really? I mean, are you really in the poor house that you have to do that? So, I don't know, man. I guess my empathy for Disney is not all that much when they said like, oh, when they use the COVID card as a defense, like COVID card as a defense, like, come on now, be more understanding. We had a COVID last year, okay? How am I supposed to be understanding of you when your response to COVID is to, make your workers not have a living, not have they don't have a paycheck because you just like let go like lots of them. I was like, how am I supposed to be empathetic towards you, man? and I even hear that the many of them are not rehired back. So I don't know. This whole COVID card as a defense is a bit. It's not strong enough to get me on Disney's side. In a court filing on Thursday, Johansson said Disney's decision to send Marvel movie to Disney Plus at the same time it was released in the theater cost her millions of dollars in back-end compensation. And I mentioned to you in the previous video that that is a common thing. A lot of actors do that. Even Robert Downey Jr. I'm sorry. So a lot of actors do that when they deal with big budget studio movie that they know is gonna bank in a lot of box office money. uh their agreement would have that fine print, saying, hey, I want to get a back end percentage. I mean, this kind of stuff of course doesn't happen if you're working on an independent film, because indie film doesn't have money to begin with. so so I don't think that Scarlett Johansson has this kind of deal with Jojo Rabbit, for example. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, this is a common thing. A common thing. Back end bonus thing. It's not a Scarlett Johansson thing. It's very common. It's so everybody who's like, oh, she's so greedy. Like, well, then you can call every actor in town that's dealing with big studio greedy. But they're just trying to they're trying to earn their keep, man. And they know that this kind of movie would rake in a lot of money. So Disney is countering that it complied with the terms of Johansson's deal to star in the Avengers spin-off film. So, in Disney's statement, it says there is no merit whatsoever to this filing. Disney said in an unusually fiery statement, the lawsuit is especially sad and distressing in its callous disregard for the horrific and prolonged global effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. Again, the COVID card. The company went on to state that the star has already received $20 million for her work. Holy crap, $20 million for just one movie. Son of a gun. Oh, and I read that, Harrison Ford, I think, got paid $25 million for that shitty Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull a decade ago. So, yeah, these guys make a ton of money. That much is true. And so if you want to argue like, what Scarlett Johansson's crying about, she's getting paid $20 million, that's $20 million more than all of us peasants combined, you'd be right to say that. But Disney is not, Disney's defense or Disney's argument is not also getting me or getting us on their side. Like I said earlier, um, they're like, oh, come on, be more understanding of us. We have COVID, but you fired all your workers. Is that should we be more understanding because of that? Like, that's your response to COVID, letting go of your bottom employees that really need paycheck to paycheck. So no cookies for you, Disney. No cookies for you. Um, Disney did not provide any information about whether or not Johansson's pact was renegotiated so that she could share in streaming rental revenue. Okay, so this is just recap. Um, Johansson's lawsuit could impact the way that movie stars are compensated in the streaming era and may inspire a wave of fresh legal action by actors upset that their films are not exclusively debuting in theaters. Um, Before we get to Emma Stone, uh, just a reminder that WB, you may not like them because they fired Johnny Depp from Fantastic Beasts 3. Totally understandable. But to their credit, WB, when they did the deal with HBO Max, as I mentioned to you in the previous video, they actually paid the back end bonuses to many of their actors whose movies are going to be released in theaters and on HBO Max simultaneously this year. So, to their credit, at the very least, WB does that. I mean, if WB could do that for their actors, why can't Disney do that or do the same for their actors? So again, that's another thing that's like not getting me on Disney's side on this legal battle. Um, Despite the fact that Scarlett Johansson is already filthy rich, okay, so that much is also valid. So before we get to the response from Scarlett Johansson, Culture Crave heard a rumor via Variety and THR, Hollywood Reporter. Several actors, including Emma Stone, are considering suing Disney. A lot of other actors are cheering for Scarlett. So Scarlett, whether or not she intends it or whether or not she means it, she seems to have sparked some kind of a movement here. um, Without realizing it, probably it's like, wow, now other actors are like, oh, including Emma Stone with that Cruella movie that also opened in theaters and on Disney Plus. She's like, oh, I see your move. All right, so that apparently is possible now. Other actors also are looking at this situation very closely, and they might do the same. They might sue Disney as well. But right now, only Scarlett Johansson is officially in this battle. Um, so this is the response for. Let's see here. So many ads, man. Freaking deadline. CAA co-chairman and Scarlett Johansson's agent, Brian Lord, issued a statement Friday in response to Disney's harsh slam against the Black Widow actress in her breach of contract lawsuit versus the Burbank studio. Um, so let's see what Brian Lord, who is Scarlett Johansson's agent, has to say. I want to address the Walt Disney Company statement that was issued in response to the lawsuit filed against them yesterday by our client Scarlett Johansson. They have shamelessly and falsely accused Mrs. Johansson or Miss Johansson of being insensitive to the global COVID pandemic in an attempt to make her appear to be someone they and I know she isn't. Scarlett has been Disney's partner on 9 movies, which have earned Disney and its shareholders billions. The company, that's true, by the way, that's true. Remember what I said in the previous video? You can say, hey, Disney cares about you, but no, not really. Disney only cares about the bottom line. Disney is a corporation. Just like any other corporation, their fiduciary responsibility is to their shareholders, not to you, not to their actors, not to anybody else, but their shareholders. So at the end of the day, that's what motivates. I mean, like, Disney CEO, I mean, his paycheck is probably tied to how the stock is doing. You know what I'm saying? So even he has that chip in the game. Like, oh, I gotta please the shareholders. I gotta get this stock going. Um, that's what motivates them. That's what drives them because they are a corporation just like any other corporations. The company included her salary in their press statement in an attempt to weaponize her success as an artist and a businesswoman, as if that were something she should be ashamed of. Scarlett is extremely proud of the work that she and all of the actors, writers, directors, producers, and the Marvel creative team have been a part of for well over a decade. This suit was filed as a result of Disney's decision to knowingly violate Scarlett's contract. They have very deliberately moved the revenue stream and profits to the Disney Plus side of the company, leaving artistic and financial partners out of their new equation. That's it, pure and simple. Disney's direct attack on her character and all else they implied is beneath the company that many of us in the creative community have worked with successfully for decades. Yeah, that's that. He kind of has a point there. If Disney wants to brand themselves as the happiest, place on earth, or that's Disneyland, but the happiest movie studio on earth, family friendly. Aren't we so good? Aren't we so, awesome? Aren't we so woke? Aren't we so inclusive? And now they're doing this. They're doing character assassination. Yeah, it's it's definitely not a good look on Disney. Definitely not. That's what I said many times again. I sound like a broken record now, but Disney is not getting me on their side with their arguments, with their defense. Um, so Johansson is getting support from other celebrities who pounce on media conglomerate for making an issue of her pay when its own executives are so highly compensated. Alex Baldwin tweeted, "Remarkable to read Disney execs bashing SJ over large salaries." Um, so again, as I mentioned in my previous video, it's very telling. It's very revealing. this whole case in that, we live in a society where corporations rule our lives, man. They don't care for even their workers. Like their CEOs are paid like, I want to say maybe 10, maybe twice as much as their workers. And I was like, but their CEO is in the comfortable AC office, and their workers are the ones slaving away on the conveyor belt every day. It's just and now, of course, it's not the same as Frito Lay's or Amazon, but it's very telling that in a way, in that equivalence way, Disney is also treating their actors like crap. Like, yeah, we're gonna give our executives, like, and our shareholders, all the profits, all the revenues, all the money, but you ain't, we're not gonna honor what's on the paper. We're not even gonna do that. It's like, it's so telling. It's so revealing, because again, it's a machine. It's a machine. They have to hit their bottom line. That's how they work. Uh, Despite, again, it's valid argument that Scarlett already has enough money to live two lifetimes probably. Um, there are rumors that Emma Stone and maybe Emily Blunt, the star of Jungle Cruise, might do the same thing. There's no, I mean, it's not official yet, but that's the rumor that's going around. But before I end my video, let's see some of the reactions from the fans here. Very mixed reactions, very mixed responses. Joe 3 Dub Pro says, yeah, because all these actors are not overpaid already. They need more money. So obviously, Joe 3 sides with Disney. Edwin says, people are here defending Scarlett. Man, I ain't never seen her defend us. There's a reason she doesn't have any social media, so she doesn't have to speak up about issues that we, the people, are going through. Well, you know, somewhat true. I mean, Scarlett Johansson is not an elected official. She doesn't have like power. That statement right here sounds like Scarlett has to fight for Medicare for all of us. Like, no, she's not fighting for you and me. She's fighting for her pay. She's fighting for what her she's owed. She's, yeah, call it selfish, but she's not. It's not her job to be defending you and me. Anyway, while Freakum says, why are people siding with Disney on this? Do you really think Disney wouldn't straight up sue any of these actresses if they breach a contract, no matter how trivial? Good point. Good point. Disney would do that in a heartbeat. I love these actresses doing great job, but guys, you are having too much money for just entertainment. But doctors, agricultural workers, construction helpers, and so on, wishing to have those numbers as you having. Yeah, but that speaks to the larger issue then, right? Because we live in a kind of sick society where NBA players like Anthony Davis, he got a $190 million contract or something like that. Yeah, and you can say like how, but public high school teachers getting paid shit. So unfortunately, this is the sick society that we live in. So this argument, it's kind of straw manning, if you will. It's like, yeah, you can apply that to any other industry like the NBA or baseball, like but the to the issue at hand, she's just, again, for the thousandth time, she's just trying to fight for what she's owed, for what she has been promised. If somebody promised me money, if somebody owes me money, I'll be like, yeah, dude, it's been like a year and you're still not paying me back. Um, George says, if someone promised you $80 for a day's work but only gave you 30, would you be happy? Sure, she may be richer than all of us, but the bottom line is that she was promised far more than she got, which is unfair to her contract. Yeah, again, it's just a matter of principle. It's a matter of principle. It comes down to that. But I put a poll on this. Let's see the results so far on the poll. Okay, so also I think on YouTube as well. You guys also participated in the poll, right? On YouTube, I posted both on Twitter and YouTube. So let's check out the results so far. It's only been about a few hours, but it's why is my internet slow? I'm telling you, man, Spectrum. Oh, see, I get mad. I pay so much for Spectrum like monthly, and they give me crappy service. Wouldn't you be mad as well if you're in my shoes? Because that person is not holding up their end of the bargain. Like, dude, you promised me this fast speed internet for the amount of money that I pay, and you're not giving me that. Anyway, I digress. So, in the case of Disney versus Scarlett Johansson, which one do you side with? Um, 15 hours so far, 28 votes so far. I'm sorry, 15 hours left. 28 votes so far. This was posted 8 hours ago. And 14.3% sides with Disney, 85.7% sides with Scarlett Johansson. Let's see about it's a little bit closer on the YouTube side, as you could see here. Let me make it big for you guys so you can see it. So, in the case of Disney versus Scarlett Johansson, which one do you side with? Uh, 38 of you guys voted. Thank you so much. And so 37% sides with Disney and 63% sides with Scarlett Johansson. And we got three very strong comments on them. So you guys can check that from Dominic Spano. I think Dominic Spano sides with Disney. Chad Middleton is siding with Scarlett Johansson, I believe, with this statement. Emma Stone thinking about suing Disney too. Disney can make that money back with a big Marvel or Star Wars movie. Orion Anakaris is funny. Orion says, neither. I love it when rich people fight each other. And Dominic Spano has a lengthy statement, but basically he concludes that I'm going to side with Disney on this. So you guys can read his statement there. So yeah, it's a bit closer, the result on the YouTube than it is on Twitter, as you could see here. Twitter is like, it's no contest. A lot of people side with Scarlett compared to Disney. So, but yeah, that's where the update is. That's where we are right now in the battle of Scarlett Johansson versus Disney. Dominic is here. Hey, yes, I mentioned your name. Sorry, I can't read it right now. But thank you for sharing your thought. It's pretty lengthy, so I'm gonna let everybody read that comment on YouTube. So, but yeah, um, again, Scarlett Johansson is filthy rich, but it's all a matter of principle to me. It's a matter of principle. If somebody promises me money and they don't deliver on that promise, if somebody owes me money, and if they don't hold up that end of the bargain, just like I said, Spectrum, I pay you monthly like crazy money for internet, and you're not giving me the high speed internet. Yeah, hell yeah, I'm gonna be pissed. So it's that matter of principle. And Disney with their COVID argument, when after last year they fired like thousands of people from their theme parks during COVID. During COVID, all right, when people need to pay rent, when people need to live, it's like the most profitable company on earth let go of their workers, and now they're using the COVID card. I just like, really, really, cry me a river, cry me a river. So their arguments, right, then their attacks on Scarlett Johansson as well. Like, so what if she's making $20 million? Like, so what? Harrison Ford made $25 million on that shitty movie Indiana Jones 4. You know, some stars are more A-list than others, and that's just how the world works. And um, yeah, I gotta right now. I am, with this newest development, with Disney's response and Scarlett's response to Disney, I'm still siding with Disney. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm still siding with Scarlett. I'm still siding with Scarlett on this one. So that hasn't changed. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And as always, share your thoughts. And as always, subscribe, and tell everybody you know about this YouTube channel. Okay, please tell your family and friends and grandmas to subscribe to Rama Screen right now. Let's rock this.